Hi everyone, it's Jo and Zoe here, and today we thought we'd talk to you about the things that we've done and things that you can do in order to grow a sustainable coaching business. Over the last probably 3 years, we've really discovered the key that's accelerated our business to now what is a multi six-figure coaching business. But it wasn't that long ago. Bear in mind, we're 10 years into our business where we had great years, but also years where we didn't have so much work. So we want to be able to share some of this with you to help you grow your sustainable coaching businesses, because we care passionately about as many people as possible having access to great coaching support.
Yeah,
So
and
where do you start, Zoe?
well, I think also just something that came to mind there is I don't think there is one magic formula. You get see a lot of kind of online business coaches and support like offering the thing. There's definitely not one way to do this. This is something about how we have done it, but there's lots of different ways that you can do. So I think the first thing I would say would be about consistency. So whatever you choose to do in terms of marketing activities to do consistently. So I think there were plenty of years where we would dabble with an email list or dabble with some Facebook posts or dip our toe in the water with LinkedIn, but we never fully committed to one channel, one message, one client, and doing that really well. And there was a point in time in our business, I remember you and I kind of sat down talking about, right, who should we focus on and what should we do? And we decided we would focus on building relationships with senior HR leaders, so HR directors, senior HR business partners, and we would focus on LinkedIn. And so what that led us to do would be to, invite people of those particular roles into our network, and we would post on our profiles just things that we thought would be valuable and genuinely valuable, not like making things up, but just things from our experience and things that we knew these particular clients were struggling with. And we knew them because we were them. And so we can remember what it was like to be in those roles, kind of yearning for more and a desire to help others. So we would post about that. And we found that engagement started to work. People who were inviting to our network would engage with our posts. They would see what we wanted to do, and that's how we started to kind of build relationships. But we had to commit to doing it consistently for a sustained period of time to test how that was working for us. And once we'd been able to layer that, and I think that brings me to point number two, once that was working for us, then we could look at other things that we would do. It wasn't about trying to do everything all at once. So another thing that we did was open a Facebook group, and I think this is where we start to get into the realms of visibility. And that Facebook group initially was a group that we just wanted to be a part of, and we had that discussion, didn't we, around, okay, if we're going to start a Facebook group, we don't just want to start one for the sake of sales, because that would kill the energy for us. It had to be a group that we felt passionate about, that we wanted to be a part of. And that's where the coaching crowd was born. And originally it was to support our alumni on our coaching qualifications, and also to invite those HR directors who were thinking of becoming a coach in to come and learn more about coaching, learn from us, learn from the alumni that were in there. But what we found is we also attracted coaches, so people who were already coaches but that wanted to increase their skills. And so that Facebook group has grown over time. I think currently, as we're recording this, stands at around 1,500 people, has helped us to then think, so what are the other services that our business can offer that those people are looking for that isn't currently available to them? And that's how we created our membership, our business lounge membership, which coaches who are trying to set up a business can come and join for monthly support. So I think, what did I say? So consistency and building from a point of when you've got something that's working is number two.
Yeah, and you were talking about LinkedIn and the Facebook group as the particular things that we have invested in, and then out from that flowed the business lounge paid membership, and that was for people that hadn't necessarily trained as coaches with us. They say, oh, I wish I knew about you before. And I was smiled last night when we were talking with one of our training groups that are coming to the end of their training, and they were asking us questions about how to set up their business. And you said, I remember being sat in front of the laptop and thinking, please, just hoping that an email would come through where somebody would somehow offer you work. And I just thought, yes, I remember that. I remember thinking, what can we do? I've got this time. What can I do to actually do that? And that was in a different time when the online business world was not like it is now. But still, I think, we've learned so much now. So we are about to launch a podcast, and that is part of us building our visibility. So we've gone from a place of being petrified about posting, videos like this, through to actually, enjoying them. And it gives us a focus. It makes us, think about what are the issues that people really need support with. So we go all the way through from the training, all the way through to supporting people to set up, to name their businesses and to start to take those first actions. And that podcast means that those people that have an audio preference rather than a visual preference with the videos will also be able to have access to the things that we talk about related to coaching. And I think that's really important from a diversity perspective. It's important for us to enable as many people as possible access to knowledge and tools related to coaching. So it's very much values led, and people will know as you're building your business whether you are authentic, you've got integrity around what you're doing, whether it's related to your own values. And I think that is a critical part of business development, is staying in your own lane, having a look around, see what other people are doing, and then coming back to you and thinking about what is it that I wanted to achieve with my business, and are the actions I'm taking today in line with that. So even our coach posted something yesterday, I think it was like, what have you done today to grow your audience? What have you done today in order to sell something? So 2 really simple questions, but even all the business owners in there were like, that's a really great reminder, because when you have a passion-led business, which a lot of successful businesses are, it's easy to get lost in the enjoyment of what you're doing, or, your own development.
So you probably wedged 3, 4, and 5 in there, Jo. So I think 3 is like a podcast. Yeah, 3 is like a podcast, which is one idea in terms of what you can do to help grow your business. I think 2, what you were saying around authenticity, like choose activities that are values led and are in line with what you want to do, that you've got energy for. Don't do something for the sake of doing it because it won't work. And then I think that 3rd point is sell every day, like sell and promote every day. And that, I would say, is really important. I remember putting out lots and lots of posts, but never putting any kind of call to action on the back of it. And a call to action might be like, join the group, or message me, or follow this link if you want to find out more. Or, like there are ways that you can invite people to join with. If you don't do that, people are just going to read it and be like, oh, that was nice. But if you add a call to action on the bottom of it, people will know what you want them to do, and they'll take that action if they want to. They're not going to be offended if they don't want to. So so there's that piece. But if I go back to podcasts and add in a number 7, maybe.
Yeah.
I would say that is about build a combination of that consistency and visibility, which is pick one piece of weekly content that you can create and deliver. And that might be a blog, it might be a video like this, it might be a podcast, it might just be a particular like long form post or a Facebook Live, or whatever it is that your audience will value. So it's a way for you to genuinely give value to them in a way that is free, so everyone can access it. And there's a number of reasons for this. 1, you'll feel good about it because you know that you are helping your ideal clients and they don't have to pay you for that. So that's great. 2, which adds kind of my point number 8, which is you do need to nurture and grow an email list, because it's the only thing that you actually have control over. So if you're building an audience on Facebook or LinkedIn, obviously those platforms aren't owned by you. But if you're building an email list, then that is your community. That is the place where you can email people. And we email our list weekly, and we email them with our weekly content. And it feels good to email our list because we know there are people on that list who look forward to our videos. They look forward to learning and growing, and they will come back through various emails and find the ones that they want. So the first part of that email, is the video and talking about what it's about and why we've done it. The second part is about what we're selling that week or what is available in terms of a service that they could access. And I feel good emailing that list because I know I'm delivering value as well as asking, of our community, does anybody want to work with us this month or this week? And we have very low unsubscribe rates and we have very high read rates. And so I know that it is something that our community value. So do think about your email list and growing it. And if you're going to email them weekly, which I think is a great idea, what are you going to do in that weekly email that you can feel good about and that you can stand by?
Yeah, and then a number 8, I think, is the one-to-many concept. So you're going to struggle to grow your coaching business if you only ever do one-to-one coaching work because you've got a limited amount of time, obviously, that you can spend in that one-to-one because you've got to have time for business development. You'll have, accounting stuff to do, etc., etc. And you might also be running a coaching business whilst also having parental or caring duties, all sorts of other volunteering things. So be realistic about the amount of time that you've got to actually do paid work. And then one-to-many means that you are doing group coaching or you are training like we do, in that group environment. And so that means that you've got, obviously, let's say 1 to 10 rather than 1-to-1, but also you've then got the testimonials of 10 people rather than one person for that same amount of time that can go out, that will actually go out there into the world and talk to others and say, when somebody says, oh, I'm thinking about coaching or I'm thinking about what to do next, and I say, you ought to speak to Joe, or you ought to speak to Zoe, or you ought to speak to Inga Company. And so then you've got more ambassadors for you and your business and the quality of the work that you do. And when I reflect on it, we've always had a one-to-many aspect of our work. In fact, our coaching business started more with one-to-many than it did with one-to-one, but the one-to-one was always kind of part of, really, or often part of the work that we do. So have a think about that. So as well as building your one-to-one business, what are the elements that you could translate into a one-to-many program of some design?
Number 9 for me is about investing. And I think there's 3 points of investment as a coach. There is investing in your coaching skills. I think as an ethical coach, that is something to continue to invest in. There is also investing in learning how to run a business, which sounds obvious, but it's not something we did for many years when we set out in business. And I think we just assumed, because we were high achievers in the corporate space, that you could just leave corporate and start running a business when we didn't really know, much about marketing strategy, sales strategy, funnels and all this kind of lingo that's available now. So there's that. And then there is the inner work. So as we've talked about, our visibility, that's not necessarily going to come easily for you. I remember we were absolutely petrified. I think we might have said, like, at the thought of even putting a video on LinkedIn, and now we're deadly comfortable with it. Yes, you can kind of feel the fear and do it anyway. But bearing in mind, Joe and I have each other we are literally coaching each other through this stuff all the time. So if you don't have a partner who can help you with those kind of blocks and challenges that you have as you choose to step out, you might overcome it by yourself, but it will slow you down. So if you're noticing that doing something feels very stretchy, very scary, and you're procrastinating about it and you're not putting yourself out there, go and get some coaching support for that, because that will speed you up. You don't have to drag your feet with this stuff. And you're in a community of coaches, so there's a great community to be able to choose from. And obviously Joe and I can support you and your growth with that as well. So if you were opening a shop, you would be investing in refitting the shop. If you were opening a wine bar, you would be investing in staff and stock and all of that stuff. setting up a coaching business, yes, you can do on a shoestring, but do think about a budget. Do think about, what am I going to invest in year on year, and set your pricing according to the, which I suppose is number 10, right, around pricing. Set your pricing according to the real cost of doing business, because those things are real costs. Those investments that you will need to make to run a sustainable business, you will have to factor in to your pricing. So build on pricing, Jo, is number 10.
Okay, yeah, 10.5.
Okay.
I was going to say, and it might be related to this, is about thinking about the team that you're going to have. So that was scary for us, thinking about bringing anybody else into our business, because, well, it's just us, isn't it? And it's our brand, and how could anybody else possibly be that? And to be honest, it's still difficult, even now that we have actually taken those steps, to find the right people to fit into your business. But you can't do everything. Not only can you not do everything, but you don't enjoy doing everything. When we open up our Xero accounting software, part of me dies a little bit. And so I don't want to be doing those things. And actually it takes me longer because I'm not doing it all the time. And then I look at it each time and I think, what do I need to do? So actually having people that, when you get stuck, if that's the way you're going to kind of reach out to them, that you don't then feel like, oh, I can't call them. It needs to be somebody that you can just easily message and say, hey, I'm stuck with this, or actually that they do it for you. So that links back into pricing, because if you are going to have, people in your team, you might have somebody that puts up or schedules your social media content, for example, so that you have got consistency, and you can also focus on other elements of your business. It might be around accounting. It might be brand shoots. Like, a lot of people don't do brand shoots. You need a brand shoot, don't you?
Oh, you need, we should have made that number 1. You need professional branding and professional photos. Like, if you do nothing else, if you invest in nothing else in your business, my God, do that, because it's just so important. It's so important. We had a DIY website. It's just blinking embarrassing, wasn't it? For years. We did well with it, but as soon as we tightened up, we got professional photos, professional branding, focused on our ideal client. Literally, I mean, we can share the data on another video. Our income just shot up. You have to embody what you do. You have to. Branding is important. Like, people want to invest in something that's confident.
Yeah, because now we are actually part of a subscription for branding photos, and that means we don't have to think about it. It gets organised 3 times a year. We go, 4 times a year. We go and do a shoot. We pay a monthly subscription for that, which is brilliant. So now I think of that as being an extension of our team. So we could probably give you 20, 30.
But we got to 11.5, I think.
We got there or thereabouts. So if you want to ask us more questions about these things, come and join us in our Coaching Crowd Facebook group, where you can post those questions. And not only will Zoe and I answer, but also you'll have the collective wisdom of, a community of 1,500 other people.
So we do run, as we mentioned in this video, a monthly Business Lounge membership, which is specifically for coaches who are aiming to grow, a sustainable coaching business, where we have monthly expert speakers, Q&As with Jo and I, and obviously a community there for support. You can check that on our website under Coaches Membership. You can find that at www.igcompany.co.uk. And do join the community and stay tuned.